So now we have our modified apple pruner ready to go into action. In our case, what we can do with this is we can simply extend it as high as we need to. Put the lock on it, and you can go up really high for these apples. Now, you can see from our tree, there are some that are ready, and some, this is another variety that just happens to have its branch overlapping into the red apple variety. And what you can do here, if it's ready to come, these are later, so they won't come. If it doesn't come easily, it's not ready. So you don't have to go. That came very easily. We'll take a look at this apple. And the idea behind using something like this tool, anything like this modified, and the great thing about this, it saves you money. You don't have to buy anything. Like what was originally on this was this, which our little boy is just picking up on, and it was attached to this. It's a pruner cutter for our apple trees. But we just said, well, let's make another use for it also. So, excuse me, can I use this? So
You
we
go
cut
pick
our apple
apples
in.
for yourself, Joseph.
You want to buy it?
Here, pick apple. Here.
Yummy. So we're doing a taste test. That's you could call it a sweet sort of slightly sharp taste to it, especially earlier on. As it goes on and stays longer, it'll become sweeter. It also becomes, it's right now it's quite firm, so it's crunchy. But these particular apples are early apples, and they won't last very long. So it's kind of pick them, use them, or lose them. So here we go. We'll find ourselves another apple here. I probably can. I don't know if I can pick this. No, I haven't a chance of picking that one. So let's see if we get it. Now I lost one in the process, but I got one. Now when one falls to the ground and it takes a good drop like that, inevitably it's going to be a bruise on it. And it's not a big deal for early apples because you're going to be using them anyway. But if you're going to be keeping apples to store them for the winter time, and with later apples, which you can do that with, the bruise will cause it to be susceptible to rot, and in fact it will rot on you. That's the whole idea. While you want to get your apple gently and soft and for storage purposes, if you're going to use it for juicing or for making apple pies right away, anything that if you're using it right away, it's no big deal. But once it's bruised, its shelf life, its life to you, is going to be dramatically reduced, as opposed to taking it right off the tree. And you can see we have this beautiful apple here, red from where the sun faces and the green underside. So we have put up CDs. You're probably wondering, why did they put up CDs on their apple tree? We don't actually have enough up. And the whole idea is to keep the crows, which were causing the problem. And what they'll do is they'll come and they'll pick your apple like this. Now, you don't mind them taking some apples on you. But the problem is what they'll do is they're notorious for sampling. So they'll pick this apple, then they'll go to this apple and taste that one. Okay, now we go to this one. So they'll just go all over your tree. So the CD has an effect of showing kind of reflective lights that come, and probably affects their vision because they're quite sensitive to that. And it really does deter them. And but we don't have enough of the CDs on, and we'll hopefully next year, God willing, have more. Get some CDs somewhere where we can put them up on the tree to protect the tree. So we're going to continue on here. We'll pick. Are you going to use this, huh? Use our apple. We just dropped another apple tree. We'll leave this. We don't need it for the moment. And we'll pick our apples. Now, how you pick your apple is, you say, well, how do you pick an apple? It's simple. Just lift it up, and you don't do as damage as you can. Do as little damage as possible. So you're lifting up. Do another one here. You're taking your branch and you just simply lift it up like that. It comes right off. If it's struggling, if it gives you a problem, like this is not ready, it needs to grow more. I shouldn't even try it. These will be continuing to grow. So you can see the difference in size between an apple like this, which has several more weeks later on in the year, probably going into September, this will be ready, whereas this one's ready right now. So we're only going to pick our apples that are ready. So that one's ready. Just give it a lift, little gentle tuck. Shouldn't have to go struggling with it, like I'm struggling a little bit with that one, so it could stay on. But we'll sooner take these early apples because they won't keep. We can use them right now, and if we pick them, they will last that little bit longer for us. So you can see in here how already there's a lot of loss on the ground with the smaller apples. This is due to the wind, and it's one of the biggest things.
What you got? Is that ready?
Oh,
Oh boy.
well, that's one way to take the apple off. You just snap.
Don't
oh,
throw
but we
it.
don't throw it. We definitely don't throw it. We take it gentle. So you just take it. You take it. Put your hand on it. Hand on. Lift it. Gentle. That's it.
Now put it in the box.
Now put it in the box. In the box.
Oh, you see.
Or we can eat it right away. We're taking a bite out of it. He might be just a bit like the crow and just take a bite out of each apple. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, how was that apple? So, have more here. You can see where the apples form on the branches too. They have little spur branches coming out. And again, get right like this. It comes off nice and easy. That apple's not ready. We'll just take the ones that are. There's no problem in getting these apples off. If you're struggling with get your apple off, and you can notice this maybe with later apples, then it's not ready. It needs to stay on the tree longer. Now, our biggest enemy in Ireland is the wind, and it is the number one factor that you really need to consider. Everybody thinks it might be the cold or something like that. No, it's definitely wind, because wind can play havoc with apples. It really plays havoc with pears. You have very little chance of having a good pear crop if you're getting a lot of wind hitting your tree. See, they just snap off just like this. And we can use these to eat them for pies, crumbles, applesauce, wonderful applesauce. You just made applesauce earlier on, didn't you? And it was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're sweet.
They're very sweet. And here you see how red some of these apples are. That one just came right off. You want to try this apple? Here. You try. That's good. It's awful hard to eat two apples at the same time, isn't it? That one's firmer. You can give that to me. And that one's a little softer. You can see how soft. It's nice and soft. Okay. So we'll bring you over to our neighboring tree here. This is what do you think? It's good? Okay, you want to be telling us what you think about it. He's all about no talk. Let's simply eat. Less talk and more eating, right? Okay. So here we have our cooking apples. Now these guys don't go red. They stay green. They're much firmer than our eaten apples. And you could eat these later on, but a good bit later on, and they will stay on the tree for a lot longer. And you can see, I don't know, it's sometimes harder to notice them because of their green color. the big thing with these, they turn red, and they're like a beacon to especially crows that will say, oh yeah, geez, there's a wonderful dinner, there's a lunch for me, I'm hitting that tree. Whereas the green ones are not quite as noticeable to them, and they don't bother with them. Now, I haven't said that if they're hungry, they will. But see the size of this. We're not going to pick these at this stage. It's a bit early. We'll leave them alone. But we do have a few on the ground. And whatever we have on the ground, pick it up. And there we have, especially for we like to make applesauce, and it's wonderful. And maybe, what do you think? You could make an apple pie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Need more enthusiasm with the yeah. So, if you like our video, thank you for subscribing, and please subscribe if you haven't. Don't hit that bell button for notifications, and we'll keep you posted on all our videos. You take care of yourself. Thank you for joining us. How's that?